All right, so I'm going to keep cloning the color switch game using Unity. Now sharing my screen. Right, you guys should be able to see it now. And let's see what we have so far. I'm going to press play and show you that we have pretty much all the elements we need. We have the stars to increase the points, and we have the round circles for the color switcher. Now, the stars are working, so we're getting the points. We also have the game over, but it's not completely working. We do have the star and the points that getting up, and a lot of different shape. Now, something else I want to work on is to be able to switch the actual color of the ball, and by using the color switcher object. And to do that, we need to actually create the logic to do this. So inside of the color switcher, I'm going to add a new component, and I'm going to call this one color switcher script, or new script. Okay, color switcher script, create and add. All right, now I'm going to open it with MonoDevelop or Visual Studio. And I don't need the start or the update, so I can just remove them for now. And what I want to do is make sure that when it collides, when this gets triggered with the ball, then we get to change the color. So I'm going to go into trigger script and just copy and paste the on trigger enter, because it's going to be very similar. So I'm going to copy this, go to the color switcher script, and paste this method. Now, I don't need this inside, all right, but I do need to check if we are colliding with the player. By the way, if you want that to work, you have to add a collider on the box, right? On the switcher. So go to Unity and make sure that your color switcher has a box collider. I did add one, and I actually see it. I see it around the green area, but if somehow you don't have one and it's not this trigger, it's not going to work. So make sure you add that. Cool. Now that this is done, let's go back to the color switcher script and put the logic. So the logic is actually going to be very similar to the checkpoint, in the sense that we're going to call a method to change the color, and this method will be in the manager references. So I'm going to copy the code here and just paste it here, or I could just type it, but I just want to save some time. Now, we don't have an increase score method that we don't want here. What we want is call the reference and do dot. So we're going to create this new method, switch color, or switch player color. And then we're going to put a color number. So it could be an int here. Okay, so let's put color, and then we need one. Now, where are we going to find that? So this color needs to come from somewhere, right? And we can create an array here that has the colors that are the allowed colors. So public color, that's an array, allowed colors. Okay, so the next color will be random. So we don't really know which one it is going to be. The only reason we will be able to tell is by picking one from the allowed color. So let's pick one from there and do int index is equal to random dot range, and the range would be from 0 to the allowed colors dot count, dot length because it's an array, -1 because it's inclusive. Cool. So we have a random index, and now we can say color, new color is equal to. Now we can do new color, and here it's going to be equal to allowed colors, and here we're going to put the allowed color, which would be new color. Now, which will be at the index, so allowed color at index. Cool. So we have the new color. Now, do we want a color or do we want just an index? Because check this out. If you go to the manager references, we have an index here. So we probably want an index as well. It's up to us at this point. Okay, so I'm going to go with an index. It's probably easier to use these indices here. So I'm going to change this to an indices. So that would be the enum. The actual name is color used. So I'm going to use that. Color used, allowed colors, cool. And this would be color used, new color, allowed colors at index. Cool. Now, switch player color does not exist, but that will be at new color. Okay, so let's create the switch player color. That's going to be inside of the refs, which is the manager references. All right, so let's go to the manager references and create that all the way down. Public, void, why public? So that I can access it through the other script. Switch player color, and here we need player color used, and let's call it new color. Cool. And now what we want to do is say that the ball takes this color. So the ball needs some kind of a method to switch color. So we can take the ball. So we have a reference to the ball right here. If you guys remember, we have a player sphere, and that's the ball. Player sphere. However, to change the color, we need to use the renderer, right? And to use the renderer, if you take a look inside of Unity, look at the player ball, which is the sphere here. We have the sphere and we have the actual color of the sphere. But what we want to do is not just change that, but also change the color from the script. But before I want to do so, I want to fix a couple of things here so that you guys can see that. So I'm going to save that, go to the color switcher, and the switch player color now is good. All right, so let's double check if we don't have any errors first. Okay, so I'm going to go to the console and see if we have any errors or not. Do we have any errors? It seems to be okay, cool. All right, so we don't have any errors. So if I click on the sphere, you'll see that we know what color we're using because we have the sphere color right there. And we also have the player script here. Cool. So let's go ahead and switch color. But before we do so, we need to know what color corresponds to what, right? And let's go to the manager references and do what we're going to do is we need to figure out what are the colors that are allowed. So as you can see here, we have the colors item here, right? So that's what we need to get. And the way we're going to do this is by doing a switch on the new color. So let's go ahead and do switch, new color, switch new color, and then let's enter the case. First case would be color used dot, let's say blue. If it's blue, then we need to change the player sphere color to blue, right? So we would do player sphere dot get component. Let's actually get the component outside of this. So I'm going to put it right above. Player sphere dot get component. The component will be the sprite renderer. Okay, now that we have the sprite renderer, let's create an object here, sprite renderer, and call it renderer is equal to player sphere dot get component sprite renderer. Good. Now that we have the renderer, if it's blue, we can say renderer dot color is equal to, and we need to create the blue color. So new color, and then put the blue color. So to know what the blue color is, we can either have them in inside of an array, or what we could do is also have them just write them down right there. But I believe we've already added them. If I remember, if I go to the manager here, I see the colors here, right? So we're going to use the colors at index 0 and so on. Okay, so that's how we're going to use that. So 0 would be red, 1 would be green, and so on. So let me do that. So if it's here, I'm going to do color use.red. So render.color is equal to the array called colors. So that would be colors at index 0. Cool. And then I can break. Okay. Now, is that going to be enough? What we could do, that might be enough for now, but we can double check and see, because what we need to do also is that the sphere needs to have its current color change, but that will do for now. Let's go with that. All right. Next, if the case, I'm just going to copy that because it's going to be very similar for now. Case color used dot, that would be in the manager, dot yellow. It's yellow, then it's color used 1. And if it's green, that's color used at index 2. And after green is going to be blue. And if it's blue, it's at index 3. And then if it's purple, then it's at index 4. Okay, cool. Now we also need a default case. It should never happen, but it's always good to have a default. And put renderer.color is equal to color at index 0. It would be red. Okay, and then a break. Cool. So we have that, and let's see what this does. So if we go back now to Unity, it says that I have an error type variable method was expected. Let's see. Yes, renderer.color colors. I'm missing an S here. No problem. Cool, easy fix. All right, now let's go back here and see if we fix all the errors. Yeah, all the errors are gone. So I'm going to press play and see. So technically, if I go here, that should change the color. Let's see. Oh, okay, it says array index out of bounds, obviously, because this specific circle does not have any colors. We need to add them. So let's click on the color switcher. And as you can see, there is 0 allowed colors. So we need to add some. Let's add, let's say, 3 allowed colors for now. So this one will have 3 allowed colors. The first would be red, the second would be yellow, and the third one would be green. Okay, so this will change either, it should change the ball to either one of these colors. Well, since the ball right now is already red, so I'm going to put blue instead. So it could be blue, yellow, or green. All right, let's press play and see. So I'm going to go through it. Boom, the ball went from yellow to blue. So far, so good. Let me do it one more time so that you guys can see it better. I'm going to zoom in. Right, so right now the ball is red. Let's go up. You guys ready? Red, yellow, excellent. Okay, so it went to blue, now it went to yellow. So the color is dynamic. It changes as we go. So we never know what color we're gonna get. Not even us, the programmers. Nobody really knows, it's random. Cool. All right, now what we need to do is to double check whenever we collide, because what's happening here is that we need the ball to change colors, not just here in the color, but also to change colors in the script so that we know what is the current color of the ball. And if I have to remember where we put that, now I know that if I look at the trigger, we look at the color. We look at the color of the renderer, okay, and the color of the sprite. Okay, good. So we actually are comparing colors. So this will always work. Excellent. So we don't actually have to change anything. Perfect. Cool. All right. Now that we have done this, what we need is to actually add the color switcher to the objects. All right. So whenever we want to get to the triangle, we are only allowed to use any of these 3 colors. So we got to make sure that this has only 3 colors or the same colors as the triangle, right? Because if somehow we have blue, there is no way the ball can go through this because blue is not part of the triangle. So it's a total loss. It's game over right away, and the user is going to be mad at us because this game makes no sense anymore. So we got to fix that. Not a problem. Easily done. First of all, I'm going to go in the project, and inside of the prefabs, we need to work on this prefab. So I'm going to work on the triangle first. And before getting to the triangle, what we need is to have the color switcher object inside of it. So I'm going to take this triangle. We actually have one already here, so that's good. And I'm going to add the color switcher inside. So I'm going to duplicate it, duplicate the color switcher, put it inside of the triangle. Very good. But I also need to place it. So the color switcher needs to be right before, and that's good. It's right before the triangle. So if I move the triangle, that will move the color switcher as well. Let's see. Yep, excellent. So let me just put it back. I'm going to put it up a little bit so that we can see it. Cool. And now what I want to do is move it a little bit down so the color switcher can move because it's a bit too high. I'm going to move it down and make it smaller, so 0.4. So I'm going to scale it down. Cool. And now I'm going to change the allowed colors. So since this is green, red, and yellow, I can only allow the green, red, and yellow, right? So go ahead, green, red, and yellow. Cool. Excellent. And that's it. It will automatically know to change colors right there. Cool. Now that I've done that, I can actually create a prefab out of this. So I'm going to remove the triangle, the prefab, removing it, and take this triangle and make a new prefab by just drag and dropping it here. Cool. And as you can see here in the bottom, the prefab has everything. It has the color switcher, the star to make the point, and the triangle that will rotate. So I'm just going to try it out for now. So I'm going to remove this color switcher and move the triangle down so that we know or not if what we have works. So I'm going to put it right there. Let's see, I'm going to press play. And let's see. So I'm going up. As you can see, there is a problem. You guys see what the problem is? The color switcher is actually moving with the triangle. So we definitely have a problem and we have to fix it right here. And the easiest way to fix it, you guys should already know because we've done that earlier. I'm going to create a new triangle. So create a new empty object. And I'm going to call this one triangle object. Triangle object. And I'm going to take the triangle and move it inside of it. Cool. But now I'm going to take the color switcher object and move it outside of it, inside of the triangle. So now the triangle is here and the color switcher is right above it. Good. So let me put this one at position 0, 0, 0. Okay, and the rest is moving with it. Excellent. So I'm going to remove the triangle and take the triangle object and make a new prefab out of that. Excellent. So now, if I take the triangle object, I can move it anywhere I want, and that should be fixed. Let's see, I'm going to press play now. And now, as you can see, I see the dot and the color, the ball changed color. Everything works as expected. Excellent. Now, something I saw is that the ball is touching the triangle. I don't know if you guys saw that. It's almost touching. I guess that's okay. Yes, it's almost touching, but it's not touching. Good. All right, so let's do the same thing for the other shapes. So the triangle is taken care of. Let's take care of the circle. So for the circle, I'm going to take the color switcher object, and I'm going to duplicate it, right-click duplicate, and put it inside of the circle. All right. And I'm going to remove the circle prefab and add this new one. All right, add it here. Excellent. Now, I got to double check that the color switcher is at the right spot, and it's definitely not at the right spot, but that's not a problem. I just have to move it right below it. Excellent. Cool. So now I do have it, and I'm going to click on apply so that applies it on the prefab. So if I look at the prefab, that's exactly what I want. I want the circle and the color switcher right before it. Cool. Moving on. So we have the circle. The next one will be the cross. So let's look at the cross. I need to add, inside of the cross, I need to add the color switcher object. I'm going to duplicate the color switcher object and add it inside of the cross. And now that it's inside of the cross, I'm going to make sure it's at the right spot. And obviously it's not, so that's not a problem. I just need to move it. Since the cross is here, I'm going to move it right below, somewhere around here. That will do. All right. And I'm going to take this cross object, remove it, and take the new cross object and make a prefab out of it. Cool. And now if you look at the prefab cross, that's what we want. We have the color switcher, the cross, and the star to make the point. Cool. Next, the horizontal bar. Now, the horizontal bar, we also need the color switcher. So I'm going to take the color switcher, duplicate it, and add it inside of the horizontal bar right here. Cool. I'm going to put it up though. Okay. And I need to make sure that it's at the right spot. No, it's not. It needs to be before the horizontal bar, so that otherwise we're never going to be able to take it, right? So somewhere around here. Good. And now let's apply this to the prefab, and let's look at the prefab. Yep, the horizontal bar now has the color switcher. Good. So if I click on the horizontal bar, I see it's exactly what we want. We have the bar and the switcher right before. Good. Now, this might need some tweaking later on to make it a little bit better, but so far so good. And then let's look at the rectangle. So the rectangle does not have it, so let's add it. I'm going to duplicate the switcher, duplicate, and move it inside of the rectangle. Cool. And I'm going to have to move it so that it goes right below the rectangle, just moving it somewhere around here. That's good. All right, so now I can apply on the prefab. Let's look at the prefab. Yep, the prefab looks good. I can see it right now. It's exactly what we want. Now, let's work on the last one, which is the triangle. Okay, so I'm going to take the color switcher. Since this is my last one, I'm just going to take this color switcher and add it inside of the triangle right away. So here is a triangle object, moving it inside. Oh, it actually already has one. So yes, I guess I already did it, so I don't need to do that. Good. All right. So now I will need to move the objects around to have it perfect. Because right now they all are like too close to each other, and that's not a problem. We can easily do that. I can select each object and move them. So I'm going to take the bar first, the first bar, which is the horizontal bar, moving up. Actually, let me take all the objects and move them up, all of them at once. Okay, I move and the circle too. All right, so I'm going to take the first object, which is the horizontal bar. So taking the horizontal bar, I'm going to do I need to move it up? No, I don't think so. I think it's the position is good, right? Somewhere around here, it's good. All right, next, the rectangle. Actually, that's not going to be the rectangle. The next one is going to be the triangle. So I'm going to put the triangle right below the horizontal bar and move it up a little bit. Okay, now there's this extra, I don't know if you guys see it. There's this extra, how do you call that? This extra color switcher, and I don't know where it's coming from, so I have to figure out where is this one coming from, but I believe it's just this random, yes. So I just need to delete it, okay? So just delete, yep, gone, excellent. So I moved the triangle up. Now I'm gonna go, where's the triangle? I think I just deleted the triangle. No, I actually don't have a triangle, weird. So there's definitely something wrong here. So I need to remove this color switcher and add the triangle instead. Okay, take the triangle object and add one. Cool, so we do have a triangle here. I need to figure out where is that triangle coming from. Oh, okay, I see. I moved it at the wrong spot. That's okay, not a problem. Fix that. Take the triangle, it's at the right spot, and put it right below the horizontal bar. Okay, now I'm going to take the rectangle and actually I'm going to take the cross and move it right below the triangle, but moving it up a little bit. So somewhere around here, cool. Now take the rectangle and the circle and move both of them up. All right, and that looks kind of okay. I believe we're good to go. I'm gonna take the circle and move it up a little bit as well. Now, obviously, you design your own levels, so you don't have to follow what I do here. But I'm gonna press play and check what we have so far. All right, so let's go ahead. And as you can see, I'm going to move up. So we changed to blue, so we'll have to go through the blue color. Okay, so you'll have to wait to go through the blue. As you can see, it doesn't go to the max range, but I can go, yeah, good. I went through the blue. Now I'm going to switch color. It's red. So I'm going to go through the red. Okay, so I'll have to wait. Now I'll go through the blue here. Excellent. So it's using the right colors. And the rectangle, you guys see the problem with the rectangle? This is moving too. Actually, it's pretty cool. We may have to wait for it. So it's up to you if you want to do that by design or not, but I'll change it. And this one too is moving too. So we'll have to fix the circle and the rectangle. So let's take the circle and fix that. So I'm going to create a new game object, create empty, and call it circle object. right? And I'm going to move the circle inside of the circle object, right? And take the color switcher and put it outside. Continue. Now let's make sure that the circle has the circle object at the right spot. Good. And the color switcher at the right spot as well. Excellent. So I'm going to delete the circle here. All right. And I'm going to move this circle as the new object. Cool. Excellent. And the last one was the rectangle. So the rectangle here is the one that has a problem, and we can easily fix that. What I'm going to do is create a new object. So create an empty object and name it rectangle object. And I'm going to move the rectangle inside of it and take the color switcher and put it right outside. Losing prefab, yes, continue, that's okay. And that's the rectangle, so I'm going to take the rectangle prefab, remove it, and add this new rectangle object as a prefab. All right, so now technically we should be good to go. Let's double check. I'm going to press play and just go all the way to see if the color switches as expected. All right, so moving up, the bar is good, the triangle is good, the cross is good. Next, okay, excellent. The rectangle is good, and so the circle is not good. That's not a problem. Let's fix the circle. So we know that the circle needs a fix. So let's see what's going on. I see this. Oh yes, the color switcher is still inside of it. All right, continue. All right, and apply. So let's look at the circle object here now. Excellent. So now I'm going to press play and just double check that it's working. All right, so the color switches, excellent. Excellent. So the last one is the circle. Let's see. Yep, the circle has a color switcher. Excellent. And we can go through it. We can wait inside of the circle and we can go through. Excellent. So we have the whole game working. Perfect. Now the next step would be to make better objects, make more complex shape. And that I will be doing next. All right.